Your CPP doesn't always end when you die. But what exactly happens to the CPP in the afterlife? Let's walk you through what your spouse or family could receive and how to claim up to $818 a month for your survivors. But first, let's start with the eligibility for the CPP survivorship pension. To qualify for the CPP survivorship pension, there are a couple of important requirements. The first requirement is the relationship status. You must be the legal spouse or common law partner of the deceased CPP contributor. The second requirement is CPP contributions. The deceased must have contributed to CPP for at least 3 of the last 6 years before their passing, or they must have contributed for at least 10 years in total. And here's a pro tip, don't forget this. Make sure you apply for the survivorship pension as soon as possible after your partner's death. Retroactive payments are limited to 12 months, so any delay could mean losing money that's rightfully yours. It's really easy to overlook this during the grieving process, so keep this on your radar. Here's an example. Meet John and Emma. Let's say John passed away this month and his wife Emma is eligible for $700 a month in CPP survivor benefits. If Emma waits 18 months to apply, she would miss out on 6 months of payments. That's $4,200 total. That could have helped her cover living expenses or unexpected costs during this difficult time. So make sure you apply right away. Think of the survivorship pension as a lifeline, keeping your financial boat afloat after a storm. How much money can you receive? The amount of the CPP survivorship pension you receive depends on 2 key factors. The first is your age at the time of your spouse's death. The second is the amount your spouse contributed to the CPP over their working years. Here's an example. John passes away at age 65 and he received $1,200 a month in CPP. Now I'm going to go over 2 different scenarios given these numbers. The first is when the survivor is under 65 years old or the survivor is 65 and older. So if Emma is under 65 when John passes away, she will receive a flat rate amount for 2024. It's $227 plus 37.5% of John's calculated CPP retirement pension. So if John would have received $1,200 per month at age 65, Emma's pension as a survivor under 65 would be 37.5% of $1,200, which is $450, plus the flat rate portion of $227. Emma's total benefit would be $677 per month. Now, if Emma is 65 or older, once Emma turns 65, her survivorship pension is recalculated and she will receive up to 60% of John's calculated pension. So if John's CPP retirement pension was calculated at $1,200 per month, her survivorship pension at 65 or older would now be 60% of $1,200, which is $720 a month. Let's break this down a bit further. And here's an important note. The pension is always calculated as if John had reached age 65 at the time of his death, regardless of whether he passed away younger or older. This part confuses a lot of people, so let me explain. Taking a look at all this data, whether John passed away at a younger age, for example 60, or at 65 or at an older age, for example 70, the same calculation applies. John's pension is calculated based on what he would have received at age 65. If John passed away at 60, his retirement pension is still calculated as if he had lived until 65. So if Emma is under 65, she would still receive the $677. And if Emma is 65 or older, she would still receive $720. And if John passed away at 70, the pension is again still calculated as if he would have been 65 at the time of his death. So again, she would have received either $677 per month or $720 per month based on her age. So the key takeaway is, regardless of John's age at death, Emma's survivorship pension is based on the amount he would have received at age 65. Let's take a look at what people actually receive for CPP for survivor benefits. Looking at the actual real-life data of what people receive, we see that if you're under 65, the average payment is $524 a month with a maximum of $739 a month. This includes both the flat rate amount and 37.5% of the deceased spouse's pension. And if you're 65% or older, the average payment is $323 per month with a maximum of $818 a month. Survivors over 65 receive 60% of their spouse's pension without the flat rate portion. The gap between average and maximum suggests that many survivors do not receive the full pension, likely due to their spouse's contribution history or, as I'll get into later in this video, their own CPP benefits affecting this payout. In both cases, the maximum payout can only be achieved if the deceased spouse contributed the maximum allowable amounts to the CPP, which is not always the case. For a deeper dive into how much CPP the average Canadian receives while they're still alive, I made a very detailed video about that on the channel, so check that out. Maximum Survivor Pension Cap Explained. There is a cap on the total CPP benefits you can receive if you are collecting your own CPP retirement or disability pension. The combined amount of your CPP benefits and the survivorship pension cannot exceed the maximum CPP retirement or disability benefit amounts. Here are the maximum CPP amounts allowable with some examples of how it works. The first example, retirement pension and survivorship pension. Emma receives $800 a month from her CPP retirement pension and qualifies for $700 per month from John's survivorship pension. Her combined total would be $1,500, but due to the retirement cap of $1,375, her benefits will be reduced to that cap amount of $1,375 per month. The second example is lower retirement pension. If Emma's CPP retirement pension is $400 a month and she qualifies for $600 per month from John's survivorship pension, her combined total would be $1,000 a month. Since this is below the cap, she would receive the full $1,000 a month. The third example is disability pension combined with survivorship pension. If Emma receives $1,200 per month from CPP disability benefits and qualifies for $500 a month from John's survivorship pension, her combined total would be $1,700. However, due to the combined survivor and disability pension cap at $1,613 per month, her total benefits would be adjusted to that $1,613 cap. Here are some advanced planning strategies around the CPP cap after a spouse's death. The first planning strategy that we work a lot with our clients with are to start CPP early if you're below the cap. If your CPP retirement pension will be significantly below the maximum, starting CPP early might actually be a good option. This allows you to collect both your CPP and the survivorship pension sooner without hitting the cap. So here's an example. If your CPP is expected to be $400 a month and your survivorship pension is $500 per month, the combined total of $900 is well below the cap of $1,375 for retirement benefits. We usually recommend to delay CPP as long as you can, but this is a special case where it might make sense to not do that. The second example is to delay CPP if you're near the cap. If your expected CPP is close to the maximum, delaying your CPP can maximize your overall benefit. This way, you receive a higher survivorship pension without exceeding the cap. So for example, if your CPP at 65 is $1,000 a month and your survivorship pension is $600, the combined total of $1,600 already exceeds that $1,375 cap. Delaying CPP to age 70 will increase your CPP benefit later on, but you'll still get paid that full survivorship benefit from age 65 to 69. Again, this requires a bit more tricky calculation and is something we work a lot with our clients on trying to figure out. Now, how long do you receive the survivorship pension? Well, the great news is you receive the CPP for survivorship pension for life, as long as you're alive. There are no time limits. Note these two key points though. A common question we get asked is what happens if you remarry? Well, remarrying or entering a new common law relationship does not affect your eligibility. You will still continue receiving the pension. And the second key point is death of the survivor. Payments will stop upon your death. How to apply for the survivorship pension? Applying is very straightforward. Complete the application on the Government of Canada's website and provide documents like your spouse's death certificate. Step-by-step guides are available and help is always an option. Again, remember my pro tip from before and apply as soon as possible to make sure you don't miss out on any of your payments, as there is only a 12-month retroactive window. Child benefits. If you have children, they may be eligible for the CPP Children's Benefit, which provides financial support after the loss of a contributing parent. The benefit is available to both biological and adopted children of the deceased and can make a meaningful difference, especially with education expenses. How much can they receive? In 2024, the CPP Child Benefit offers a flat rate payment of $294 per month per child. This amount is not based on you or your spouse's earnings. It's a set amount to help ease the financial burden for families. Eligibility: to qualify, the child must be under 18 years old or between 18 and 25 and enrolled in full-time school. Once the child reaches 25 or is no longer attending school full-time, the benefit stops. How to apply? Well, the application is again straightforward and similar to the CPP Survivorship benefit. You can apply through Service Canada and will need supporting documents such as your child's proof of enrollment in school if they are between 18 and 25. Now let's talk about the CPP Death Benefit, which is a one-time lump sum payment, typically $2,500, paid to the estate of the deceased. In some cases, it may be as much as $5,000. This amount can help cover immediate expenses such as a portion of funeral costs, and it eases the financial burden in the first few weeks after a loss. Taxability of CPP benefits. All these CPP benefits that I mentioned, including the survivorship pension, child benefit, and the death benefit, are taxable. You must report them on your tax return. Understanding how these benefits work and their tax implications can be very challenging, especially during tough and emotional times. We understand how hard it can be to manage finances after a loss. Visit our Blueprint Financial website. Our team is here to help you find stability and peace of mind, and subscribe for more ongoing support.